We're at the Newcastle Retirement Center, and John Hlavacek and I were discussing the things concerning how do we get socialization as part of the development and the cognitive engagement of people. And John mentioned something that was very interesting to me, and I'd like to have him tell a little bit about the experience that he had.
Well, here at Newcastle, we try and have a number of things to interest the residents. And there's a young man who's taking a course at UNO, and he comes here and is studying Newcastle because he feels that at some time he'd probably like to work or manage a facility like this.
I see.
And he suggested, actually he started a little poet club. And we have the Poets Corner here every Sunday afternoon at 3:15. And we started with just one or two, and I said, well, I'll try and help. I've never written a poem in my life. I don't know. So we started, and we got a few of the residents. Some of them, one of them brought a book on haiku, which is a Japanese way of putting words into poetry. And some brought books of poem and would read a poem. And the idea is we have a subject for the next Sunday, and then you bring a poem with that subject. And if you don't have one, you can bring a book of poems, or one you'd like to read, and just come and sit and listen. And so it's been a lot of fun. We had subjects. We had one on addiction, and and I had got a poem about that, about Budweiser and Johnny Walker and Marlboro Man, and made a little poem. Then we had one. I had one about writer's block, and thinking about how people who write, and I try to find every excuse in the world so that you don't have to sit down and put something on paper. So I wrote a poem about that. And the others, it's strange. We have a couple of ladies who are just, they come every Sunday and they bring either haiku or poems. So that's, and if it continues, some of them, I don't have any relations here, but some of them have friends, and they can ask the young people and bring their poems, and it should be fun.
It's interesting because last week we at Toastmasters, the topic was Emily Dickinson, because it was her birthday 180 years ago. And we went in and talked about how she wrote poetry, didn't have any really formal education in that area, but because of her life experiences, she wrote about nature and
Did
gardening.
you read some of her poems at the Toastmasters?
Well, not all 1,800 of them.
No, but a few.
But a few, and she's quite remarkable.
Sure.
And interesting in the fact that sometimes none of her poetry, or maybe only a few, was published in her lifetime, but really didn't get to be noted as a poet until in the 1920s, when feminism and people's attitudes toward form was somewhat lessened, and they began to realize that just how...
Well, this is a little bit off the subject, but this Newcastle is a wonderful repository. We have a wonderful library, and residents who buy their books present them. So just incidentally, I just found that we do have a book of Emily Dickinson's poems.
Wonderful.
So, yes. And of course, here we try and do a lot of things. We have exercises, as you know, every morning at 9 o'clock. And we've diversified. Like this morning, we have chair exercises. What was there? Tomorrow we'll have Tai Chi. And on Wednesday we'll have weights, and I call them dumbbells. And on Thursday we have...
You mean the people holding them, or the things?
Well, both. And then we have yoga on Thursday, and then on Friday we have another part of Tai Chi. And of course, the activities department here tries to bring people for lectures. Every Wednesday we have Keith Landon who comes, and we have a discussion about world events for an hour, and that's very well attended.
So my understanding, John, that the retirement center utilizes young people excuse me, and to bring in to the center for two reasons. First of all, for them to see and learn from you, but at the same time, they can impart what's
sure.
going on in their world.
I haven't seen it this year, but every year I've been here, there's students from Marion High School who come and interview some of the residents, and it's interesting because we have a lot of veterans here from World War II, and I know of one case where the man had a, what shall I say, horrifying experience. He was at Iwo Jima and Guadalcanal and everywhere else, and he would never talk about it. And he got this young lady to come, and he began telling her the story, and that's the first time he had related it. And that's not unusual. Many of the people who have been in combat just don't like to talk about it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And a lot of people maybe don't know how to ask the question too. Like this young lady,
she was interested.
Yeah, interested in it, and he enjoyed talking to them. Yeah, that's very good. Well, thank you, John. I think this has been a very interesting get together, and maybe we can do it again sometime.
We'll try. Thank you.